All right, we were talking yesterday about living in the 100%. Now, let me just give y'all a little bit of a disclaimer. My little 3-year-old grandson spent the night with me last night. He heard me get up at about 5 this morning, and he's been up praying with me and everything. So if he comes in saying, Grammy, y'all just know it's my 3-year-old's grandson. But when I was in my early 20s, there was times that I would start projects but then find myself getting bored with it and leaving it where it was. I was training myself not to be a finisher. If I started washing the dishes, I would wash the dishes and then leave the pots and pans. And if I made the bed, I would just throw the covers over the bed and then leave bumps in the bed. And, you know, if I read a book, oh my gosh, I would start the book, then get distracted and get another book and start reading that book and never finish my books. But as time went on, this practice started impacting my entire life. What I started realizing was that it wasn't just affecting my natural life, it was also impacting my spiritual life. I would start a fast and make it through the first day, but by midday, too, I was so hungry, I would get a headache, and so I would go on and eat. If I released my faith for something, instead of going all the way through the times of testing and seeing it all the way to the end, I would do something to pull myself out from under the pressure. I'd go get a credit card or borrow some money, or in cases of minor illnesses, instead of using my faith to trust God, I would go and grab some medicine, instead of using it as an opportunity to build my faith. And I'm not talking about a sickness like a cancer or something like that. I'm talking about I may have had a headache or something that I could have endured and just, use my faith for it. But instead, I chose the natural way so I could get myself out from under the pressure. And so, whether we realize it or not, as believers, there's a lot of unfinished projects in our lives. If you were to be honest with yourself, a lot of y'all would see things that just haven't been completed. And there's no condemnation because that doesn't exist for us. But if we started out strong, but somewhere lost something, or somewhere something happened, or we lost our passion, or we lost our momentum, once we lose that momentum, you also lose interest and you become distracted, which consequently positions you to, you know, fail to cross the finish line. You know, you got a desire to go back to school, and you talk about it, but you don't do it. You researched it, you got all the paperwork done, but the paper's still sitting in the drawer. You just stop. You want the degree, but you don't have the drive to go all the way. And so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about moving yourself into the 100%. God spoke this to me many, many years ago, after I told you all yesterday that I was making my bed and I fell asleep on my bed. When I opened my eyes, I heard the word of the Lord come to me saying, you have to learn to be a finisher. Live each day in the 100%. And at that time, I wasn't, I didn't know what it meant to live in the 100%. But as I continued to grow in my life, I now understand what God is saying to me. He was saying, Melva, because you have all these unfinished endeavors, it's revealing that you haven't learned to live your life to the fullest. In other words, every day you are only giving the minimum when I've graced you and empowered you to give the maximum. When you think about John 10 and 10, he said, the thief comes not but for to steal, to kill, to destroy. But I came that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. The Phillips translation of that verse says the thief comes with the sole intention of stealing and killing and destroying, but I came to bring you life and far more life than before. And then I found this translation in the complete Jewish translation. It says this: the thief comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come so that they may have life, life in its fullest measure. Life in its fullest measure. When we live our life in the fullest measure, to me, that's living in the 100%. We're accomplishing something, even if we set out to do today, even if it's not finished today, but we are giving our heart to it. We're giving our all to it. And at the close of every day, there's this sense of contentment, fulfillment, and accomplishment because you know that you've done your absolute best to do whatever it is that you needed to do that day. If you did the laundry, the portion of the laundry you did is folded and is put in the drawer. It's not laying in baskets or on the dresser all over the house. It's you doing everything that you do and doing it at the highest level. Now some of y'all might be thinking, Lord have mercy, I don't have time or the strength in my day, to be doing all of that. And you're asking, I don't have enough time to do everything that I'm doing, and you're asking me to do more. Let me say this. You're already doing something. I'm not talking about adding from a quantity perspective. I'm talking about adding from a quality perspective, and there's a distinct difference between the two. I'm asking you to beef up how you do what you do, not stop doing what you're doing or not add to what you're doing. Just do what you're doing and do it to the max, and then there's this other thing where, the Bible says, give us this day our daily bread. You realizing that you only have grace for today. And if you're taking your life to God every day and you're saying, Lord, show me what it is that I should be doing today, then he downloads to you, or it's really an upload from your spirit, then he uploads to you what it is that you should be doing today. And don't go past that. Don't try to do more than what God shows you is needed for today, because God doesn't want you adding more stuff to your day. In fact, he'd rather you eliminate some of the things that you're doing, because if what we do keeps us away from him, he doesn't want us always doing those things. And so he wants your days filled with productivity, not just activity. And so he's giving you a spirit to enable you to be able to do that. And so it's just a matter of you learning to rest in the Father, learning to listen to his voice, and move into the things that he's called you to do. This is really important to understand, because a lot of us we're doing something. All of us actually are doing something, but few individuals have nothing to do all day. You just sitting, you're doing nothing all day. No, from what I can gather, sitting around every day eating bonbons and watching HGTV is not what most of us are able to do. But you're doing something. And so if what are you doing that's adding to the fulfillment of your life? What are you doing that's increasing the joy in your heart? What are you doing that when you're done at the end of the day, you lay down saying to the Lord, thank you. Thank you so much for such a powerful, impactful day. And then you're crawling, you're crawling in the bed feeling satisfied versus crawling in the bed night after night, dreading the next day, or doing what my husband said. He said, I don't fall asleep. He said, I don't go to bed. He said, I collapse into bed. That's what he said about me one time, because I was doing so much. And so it's important for us to learn to live in this thing called the 100%. When my husband and I first got married, he shared something that was really powerful with me. And at the time, I couldn't appreciate what he said, but over the years, I have, And he said this, he said, Melva, we're going to start out small, but trust me when I tell you that we're going to end up large. And I want us to grow, but I want us to max out every level that we're going to live on. Any level. If we're on the bottom, we're going to live at the top of the bottom level. If we're in the middle, we're going to live at the top of the middle level. If when we're on the top, we're going to live at the top of the top level. And so he was saying, no matter where we live, we're going to do it to the best of our ability. And that means that when we're showing up, we're going to show up strong. When we're doing something, we're going to do it with all of our heart. I don't want to live above my means, but I do want to live within my means at the maximum level. It's not living over and above, over and extending yourself into debt and all of that. No, it's where are you? Where you currently are you living your best life where you are? And so what he said was powerful. He wasn't asking me to move faster than where we were or to live higher than what we were able to live. No, he was asking me to be my best no matter what level I was on. I have these house shoes, they kind of toe up right now. And my grandson just walked in. But I have these house shoes, and in my house shoes, they are those UGG house shoes. And they're pretty cute. And but the problem with those house shoes is they made them for us to be able to walk outside in them. But let me tell you something. Every pair of house shoes are not meant to be outside. So one day my daughter said to me, Mom, you can wear those outside. I said, I'm not wearing these outside because these were not made to be outside. Some of them they've made for you to wear them outside. Then in those cases, you do what you do. But sometimes we've got to be mindful of how we're showing up in the world. You can't show up in the world with raggedy house shoes and you ain't brushed your teeth or washed your face. That's not how we want to show up. You want to do what you need to do and you want to live your life in the best possible way, but don't overextend yourself doing it. Go through the process the right way, and God's grace is going to be with you all the way. Do yourself a favor. Live at the best level that you can live at, and don't be sad about where you currently are. When you allow yourself to go through the process of life, you raise and you elevate your thinking. You can't be saddened about the fact that you're doing the process. At the end, you're going to be well. You're going to be equipped with everything that God has given you. You're going to know how to handle yourself no matter where you are, no matter what level you're on. That's the power of taking it step by step and not pushing yourself into levels that you haven't trained yourself to live on. When you do this the right way and you follow the right steps, you're going to know how to handle people no matter where life takes you. To me, one of the saddest stories in life is when you hear about people who won the lottery and then you go back, a year, maybe 2 years later, and they're living in poverty. I heard the story about this woman who won $19.5 million and now she's living in a trailer park under a bridge. What happened? The elevation came too quickly. They didn't change the way she thought. And so the way that she was thinking when she was poor was affecting how she was thinking when she became rich. And so consequently, her life could only bring itself down to the level of her mental confession. Where she was in her mind was as far as her life was going to let her live. And so she went from living a $19.5 million life to being in a trailer park under a bridge. We don't want to do that. Living in the 100% is you giving and living your best life right now. It's not waiting until your ship comes in. It's not waiting until you hit the lottery. It's realizing that your ship has come in and God wants you to fill it up and send it out so that the next one can come in. And so living in the 100% is you doing your best, you being your absolute best in everything you do. No matter what it is that you do, you're doing your absolute best in it. It's getting dressed every day. And when you walk away from the mirror, making what you have look its best. It's not about buying a bunch of new clothes and all of that, but it's keeping clean what you have, keeping it hung, keeping it together. And before you walk away from that mirror, you ask yourself, is this my best? Is this my best? Is there wrinkles in my clothes? I'll never forget one time, uh, my pastor had put on a suit and, the suit was wrinkled and he put it on. He was trying to hurry up and get to church. And when he got there, somebody asked him, how much time would it have taken you to iron those wrinkles out of your pants? Just nailed him to the wall. And I never forgot that. So the question is, do you iron your clothes or do you just throw them on? I'm talking about 100%, you being your best. And so you have to ask yourself questions. Am I doing my absolute best? If the answer is yes, then you're living in the 100%. But if the answer is no, then you're living beneath the standard that God has for you. And it's important for you to come up. I thought about the fact that when my kids, Kyle and Kayla, were younger, they would dress themselves, but they didn't do a good job. And so I had this saying that I had created for them, and I would always say after they would get dressed, I would say, now go look in the mirror. Now go look in the mirror. And to this day, Kyle is 23, Kayla is 20, Kiana's 39, Quentin is 39. And to this day, if I say, go look in the mirror, they know exactly what that means. That means ask yourself, are you living your best life? Do you look your best? Are you doing your best? And today I'm saying it to my grandchildren, to their children. Look in the mirror. How do you look? What is your hair combed? Is your teeth brushed? Are you okay? Are you living your best life? Did you come out your best? And again, I'm not talking about being glamorous, unless that's you. I've got a friend named Chevalier. She's glamorous. And anytime you see her, one time I went to her house and she had the most beautiful pajamas. I'm like, girl, you look like this even when you at home. I was blessed by that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you always doing your best to be your best. I'm not talking about you doing what I do or what somebody else does. Because the powerful thing about living in your 100% is that you get the opportunity to do you, to be the best you, to be yourself, to be the best version of you that you can be. And that's all we're saying. Don't compromise you. You got to do you, and you got to do you well. You know, what do you see? So living in the 100% is being a completer. It's going all the way to the end and doing what you do in life with style and with grace. You know, I love being around people and they got a bounce in their step. They got a bounce in their life. It makes me smile when I see them. You know, Timothy McMurtry is that way. I love it when he walks in a room because he walks in a room with the greatest amount of ease and confidence. And everybody wants to know who he is because he just walks in with a bounce. But if you dragging in, you're the one that's going to get overlooked. And it's not about people looking at us. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you should have your thing together to such a way that people can't help but to notice you. And so it's you doing constant self-checks, self-improvement, self-development. It's you checking your mind, checking your spirit, checking your motives, checking your attitudes. It's you looking you in the face and placing a demand on you for change, placing a demand on you for better. It's you saying to yourself, where I am is not exemplary. So I got to bring it up. You know, don't give yourself a pass to just be that way or it's okay now. It's going to get better. No, make yourself better today. You know, I was praying one day and I said to the Lord, if there is anything in me, you know, if there's anything in me, I want you to get that out of me. I want you to reveal me to me. You know what I'm contending with. God, you know who I am. You know how I am. Work on what you know that I know about me. And I give God permission to do a work, you know. And so you got to keep on going. You know, there's a song that the saints in the South used to sing, Lord, I'm striving, trying to make 100. Because 99 just won't do. It just won't do. That's what I'm trying to say to you. We're striving to make 100 because 99 won't do. Well, I'm doing my best. Are you? Are you really doing your best? To brush your teeth. Are you flossing your teeth? Because this is the only set you're going to get. Are you taking care of what you have? Or do you go to bed at night with chicken in this tooth, steak in that tooth? You know, are you taking care of your teeth? You know, when I had my wisdom teeth removed, and and so when I did, I noticed about a year ago that my teeth shifted, and you know, and caused some movement within my gums, and so I went to my dentist and I said, okay, I need to get this. I need to get this fixed. Well, there's some other things going on, some other things that I got to do, and so now I'm working on straightening what's, you know, and so that's all I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. When you wash your face, do you clean your ears? Or do you forget about your ears? I'm talking about simple, practical stuff. Y'all might be saying, really? 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 This is what it means to live in the 100%. Because if you don't do it in the small things of your life, you can forget about doing it in the nine things. When you wash your face, do you clean your nose? Some people forget, I got a nose. I can clean my nose. Yes, you can clean your nose. You can clean your ears. That's what I'm talking about. All of you cleaning out your eyes, flushing out your eyes, clean, detoxing your body, all of that. We can't settle down in mediocrity and think that we're going to live our best life. You got to be ready to go to the max. And so you need to think well, feel well, look better, love strong, talk better. You know, I recently I found myself uh, moving over into where I was breaking up the English. And I'm not just talking about slang, because when I'm with my folks, I talk the talk, you know. That's not what I'm talking about. But I realized that I was getting very lazy in how I write and very lazy in how I speak. And so I was just saying things just to be saying. And so I did a self-assessment of myself and I realized I'm at 99% when I could be at 100%. And so I started making myself slow down my writing. Because at one point I got to where I was just like, you know, I started shorthanding all of a sudden. And then I said, no, you're going to write it all out. You're going to write it all out. You're going to do a thorough work because you're not going to train yourself to shortchange yourself. And so you got to do right. I remember when I was 32, well, 32 years ago, I wasn't 32, but about 32 years ago, uh, many years ago, at this point, my kids are 39 now, when I was pregnant with my twins, I remember being a single parent and I was on welfare. And I didn't have a lot of clothes or a lot of money at the time. And, I was carrying twins, so I was huge. And one day my mother came into my house, and when she saw me, she was so upset. I'll never forget what my mother said. She said, and she didn't say it nicely. She said, "You don't have to look a mess because you think your life is a mess." She said, "Get up, clean yourself up, take care of your clothes, wash your clothes. If you don't have a washer and dryer, wash your clothes by hand and hang them up." She said, "You're pregnant and you can't do anything about that. But you need to be the prettiest pregnant woman anybody has ever seen. Comb your hair, put on some makeup, iron your clothes, make yourself better." I will never forget that. You know, and what did I do? I did what Mama said. And from that day to my last pregnancy, anytime anybody saw me, I was going to be looking my best. And so all of us at one time or another will just get tired. You get tired of trying, but you can't. You got to keep going. You got to invest in you. Take a bath, not a shower. Sit down in the water. Give yourself time to relax. Spend time on you. Spend a little bit of money on you. I know the kids need shoes. I know the husband needs underwear, but what about you? What do you need? I used to have safety pins in excuse me, y'all, but I used to have safety pins in every bra I had. And that was when I had something to put in them. Well, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, but my kids and everybody around me had new clothes. Everybody had new clothes and new stuff. But everything I had was pent up, And then I realized that, my kids, everybody is watching me. Everybody is looking at me. I'm toe down and they're looking all right. What about me? What about you? You got to take care of yourself, And so it's just important. I hope I didn't say too much. I said too many things. So anyway, look at what happens when you get satisfied with the 99%. I found this. When people live in the 99%, this is what happens. 114,500 mixed match shoes will be shipped out this year. 2 million documents are going to be lost by the IRS this year. This is 99%. 2.5 million books will be shipped with the wrong covers, or the covers are going to be upside down. 315 entries in dictionary.com is going to be misspelled. 1 hour of unsafe drinking every month is going to be released to the public. 2 unsafe plane landings every day in somebody's international airport. 16,000 pieces of mail is going to be lost by the U.S. Postal Service every hour. 20,000 incorrect drug prescriptions are given out every year. 12 newborn babies are going to be given to the wrong parents every day. 500 incorrect surgical operations will be conducted every year. 268,500 defective, unsafe tires are going to be produced and put on cars this year. 50 newborn babies are going to be dropped at birth by doctors. 22,000 checks deducted from the wrong bank accounts every hour. 32,000 missed heartbeats per person per year. 107 incorrect medical procedures performed every day. 1,000 phone calls misdirected every minute, and 132,000 income tax returns are going to be processed incorrectly. What in the world? That's what it means to live in the 99% versus living in the 100%. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. When you make the decision to live in the 100%, 99 just won't do. And so I just want to encourage you all today, whatever it is that you're doing, when you go, to get dressed, look yourself in the mirror and say, am I all right? And if you got to question it, or you got to go to somebody and say, do I look all right? Then you don't. When you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I like that. I like the way you look. When you can look at something that you produced and say, I like that. I like that I produced that. When you look at your bedroom, you know, you got bumps in the bed, pillows all over, you didn't make your bed, fix it. Whatever it is, your car, you know, I see men with haircuts and whatever it is, do you, and do you at the best level that you can. I hope I said something today that's increased you, that's encouraged you, that's made you better, because that's what this is all about. Fresh Baked Manna Live is all about you being your best. It's about you being better. And so that's it. I want you all to join me, those of you who can, 2200 East or West Bender Road in Glendale, Wisconsin. We're going to be live servicing with Marquis Hunt, jazz saxophonist Marquis Hunt. He's going to be with us. We're going to share a little word with you, but then we're going to sit back in the sun, bring your mask and bring your lawn chair and join us at Meslowski Park this Sunday. And then also, you all, we're going to begin 21 days of prayer and fasting. Hope you'll join us August 1st. Go to our website, worldoutreachbtc.org. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.